Okay, so who am I here with?
Hi, I'm Orwise.
And who are you at Permit?
I'm one of the founders and the CEO.
He's the CEO. And why don't you tell everyone what Permit is about?
Sure, so I'll give some background.
Yeah, give some background.
So, after working a lot in cybersecurity and the intelligence core, stuff like that, I started another company called Rookout, which is a debugging solution, another dev tool. And during my time in Rookout, I ended up rebuilding our access control 5 times when the company wasn't even 3 years old. And I just said, well, that's stupid. I don't want to do it once, let alone 5 times. And that's what really brought me to create Permit. If I'm seeing developers creating products and constantly rebuilding this basic thing around permissions, I probably did it throughout my career like thousands of times.
Right.
And I just wanted to put an end to it so developers can actually focus on building their own product and not build this crap over and over again. So yeah, so that's what's Permit about.
So from the perspective of a CEO, how do you see this company, having such a big impact on like developer teams around the world?
Yeah, well, the space that we're working in as developers has changed dramatically. I don't want to give off, spoil off and tell what my age is, but it is very different. Like, we started, just building a physical server that you maintain on your own network, and then you moved to running your code in the cloud, and then from monoliths to microservices. And with each step we took, the software that we were building was becoming more complex, more distributed, it has more elements, and you no longer have this one place where you can add permissions and decide who does what and be done with it. You need a little bit of authorization, a little bit of permissions with every little component that you build. So you have a huge area that you need to cover, and also the rules that you need to cover are getting more complex. In the past, it was enough just to have admin and not admin. Now, and that's still where everyone starts, but then you move from admin, not admin, to admin, not admin, and super admin.
Yep.
And then access control lists, and then RBAC. RBAC is like the bread and butter. Like at some point, a customer of yours would come in and say, I'm used to role-based access control. Where do I get roles in your product? And then you add the ownership or other attributes, and then you gradually slide into ABAC, attribute-based access control. So things like geolocation or time or quotas or billing status, all of these are very common things to have as attributes that control permissions. And this is like commonplace now. Like every product needs this. In the past, you wouldn't even necessarily think about it because you just set up a physical server or one machine or one monolith and you just gate it. But now everything is distributed and scaled up and getting even more and more complex. So it just becomes more and more of a demand that developers have to tackle before they can actually get to building their product, which is what you actually want to do.
Which is what you want to do, yeah. Exactly.
So because it's constantly getting more complex, and by the way, we didn't cover like what's beyond the horizon, like AI agents. Like think about, so it's one thing to have an application being used by users, by human users, but what about the AI agents of other applications acting on behalf of other applications, on behalf of other applications, on behalf of human users? There'll probably be a human somewhere down the line. What about those? Like, how do you decide and how do you allow things that communicate in that speed to work with your product? And how do you decide what's allowed and what's not? And we didn't talk about Web3 and distributed finance and the metaverse and a lot of crap that's waiting around the corner that you would need to have some way to connect your software to. And so it's already complex today. It's going to get more complicated. And if we just drop all of this on developers, which is what you do today, like if a customer comes to a company and says, I want another role in the product, or I want to be able to create roles on my own. Like the product manager getting that ticket or the security manager getting that ticket is just gonna open it up for someone in R&D and say, good luck, have a great day. It's probably easy, right? You already have like 2 roles. What's the big deal of adding another one? And the developer getting it realizes, like after some research, okay, this is gonna take me like 3 months or maybe 8 months, or depends on what they're asking. So it's really just getting that friction out of the way and allowing also those other people, the product managers, security compliance, to be able to work on this on their own and not turn the developers into bottlenecks, which no one wants to be.
Absolutely. And I think this is a good point to say that if anyone there is interested in authorization, they can follow our Slack.
Right.
They can join our Slack and they can ask as many questions as they want, and we'll be there to answer it, myself and others from the team. So if you're interested, you can do that.
Yeah.
And also, any other fact about Permit that you might have that might be interesting, that maybe we don't know about as a team or something like that?
I think one of the things I loved about how we build the company and like the team that we have and like having you and the team is how we like to engage with developers. Like you mentioned the Slack, because that's what's fun for us. Like we like to spend time just talking to other developers, and I think a lot of times people are like, when they talk to us, they're surprised like how quickly we respond and how much time we spend with them, because that's what we want to do. That's our fun, that's our kind of passion, working with developers. So I hope this is something that's unique about the company that also people watching us would enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Okay. Oh shit! It didn't record.
Really? No, you're kidding.
I'm kidding.